Tim. So what's been up in your world?
Well, some of it I've been posting on the photo fighter. Like, I recently moved out of my studio, which I think was a very good move overall. And then I actually shot my first wedding, even though in several videos I've said I did not want to shoot weddings, which still might be the case. I'm trying them out. I shot one wedding a few weeks ago. I'm shooting another one next week, and then another one at the end of the month. And so that's kind of my three I'm trying to see if I want to do more weddings in the future.
And it's funny because you told me you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do weddings. I'm not.
For a long time.
I think what it really was is I'm not gonna do weddings with Jason. Yeah.
Well, it is interesting doing a wedding without you because I basically stole all of your shots.
I know.
Like if you looked at a lot of them, like, oh, this shot looks really familiar.
I was like, well, Sid said that too. She's like, it looks like he uses a lot of what you do, and I was like, well, he's playing it safe.
Heck yeah. So I shot my first wedding. It was my brother-in-law's good friend. I've known him for years. Super chill wedding, like 50 people there. Bride and groom, super chill. They very low expectations from them on the photos. Makes it easy for me. Also, young couple, which makes it easy as well.
And you gave the photos to him already?
Yeah.
How did they like them?
They liked them a lot.
Yeah.
I freaking posted like 300 of them on Facebook.
Yeah. I know it happens. So you got to be careful.
All of them. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But, so, and just as far as what gear I used my Sony a6000, 85 1.4 Rokinon, which I haven't bought my Rokinon before Jason bought his. That's normal. And my 30mm Sigma 2.8 and my kit lens, my 16-50 3.5 to 5.6. So
okay.
I only use that for a few wide shots. So that wedding overall went really well. I did, as in my other video, point out the main mistake I made, which was during the ceremony, during the first kiss, I missed the focus of the first kiss, which sucked. Actually, I woke up the next day. That woke me up the next morning. And I was frustrated, like, at the start of the day. And it's just sleeping, whatever, and I'm wake up mad that I missed focus on that shot. And like I said in my other video, I used 3 batteries, which I ended up using 2.5. And I was quite afraid of that. So I bought 2 more batteries. So,
how long was the wedding though?
It wasn't long. I was 9 hours coverage, basically.
You did 9, but did you do full 9 hours of coverage?
From 10 to 7. No, about 8 hours then.
Okay, so 2 batteries, 8 hours?
But 2.5, but then I was also charging up one of the other ones, inside the house.
But you didn't have to use
make
it.
sure. No.
Okay.
And also I turned off the Wi-Fi on my camera. I do a few other battery-saving things.
I put mine into airplane mode, all of them.
Yep,
Yeah.
It's because they're freaking computers.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than that, camera worked great. I had my brother, who was basically my light stand for all my stuff. I used ND filter that I had, which I liked. I only used one of my flashes, which I really should use my tri-flash for some of the bigger shots because my shutter speed was too low and there's a little bit of motion blur in the background because I was trying to balance my ambient and my flash power. And I mean, there was times when my flash I was shooting at half power, like 4-second recycles. Boom.
Okay, just 1 second, guys. Just 1 sec.
Boom. Yeah. That wasn't so good. So basically, for the next wedding, I'll have my tri-flash because I have a tri-flash head and I have like 4 or 5 flashes. So I'll stick 3 of them in there.
I wonder where you got those.
Yeah, really.
I gave him I had a bunch of young
like 3, yeah.
I gave you 4. I gave you 4.
But then I gave one away to someone else.
Yeah, I gave you 4 of my young nose. I just gave them away. I was like, here, have this, and 4 triggers.
Yeah.
Who did you give it away to? That girl?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So a lot of inside stories we're not telling you about, but that's fine. So so that's kind of the only thing I'm going to change in the future or for the next wedding because I don't have the money to do it, but I'm not buying any more glass or doing anything more different that way. I'll just know because me and Jason talked about this a lot. Kind of how a wedding, at least in our opinion, so in my opinion at least, is kind of 2 big events, and then a lot of sub chapters within there.
I agree.
But you have like pre-ceremony and then you have ceremony and on. Like pre-ceremony is in general a portrait shoot. Just one big portrait shoot, shoot portraits of people, you shoot portraits of rings, you shoot portraits of table crap, you shoot portraits of everything. Now she calls me. But you shoot portraits of everything, even though, yes, it's food photography or whatever. But you have time, you typically have time, nothing's moving, and you control your lighting. Then ceremony starts, and you're full on into event photography, more or less. Even though, sure, yes, you can get some portraits at the end, and you whole time.
Stuff.
But in general, you have the two different ones. And for the event photography, doing it with my 85 main focus was not feasible for me. And eventually, it could be not a problem, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it. So pretty much after the ceremony on, I had my 30 millimeter 2.8, which is equivalent to almost a 50. It looked fine, and I was able to
At f4, a 50 at f4 because you're.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but so I mean, and it looked fine. I got the job done. I one thing I did very well, which I talked about in another video, is I turned around the photos really quick because I learned from Jason how to turn around photos stupid fast.
I'm editing 2,000 photos and I'll have them done tomorrow. And I did the wedding last Saturday.
And today is like Thursday?
Yeah, and I'm not like sweating it.
No.
I'm seriously like, I got 400 photos left.
No, so I took 1,500 photos. So I filled up 3 cards.
3% of what I take.
Yeah. So I took 1,500 photos, and I narrowed it down to 520 I was going to deliver. I shot the wedding on Friday, did dish my imports Friday night, went to my dad's race Saturday, so I was gone most of the day, but then did a few hours of editing when I got home, and then Sunday I did a few hours of editing, and I turned around 500 photos from Friday to Sunday, so to Sunday night.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, well, and it's, I mean, with doing volume stuff, dude, I love workflow.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. If you're a wedding photographer and you're sitting on your photos, one, for IPS, those wedding photographers that sit on their photos for IPS because they want to create an anticipation. That's what they call
IPS?
In-person sales. So, and you're, trying to create this anticipation of like, oh, I want to sit on the photos, so they have to wait for their photos, so they have this anticipation so I can, have them view the photos at my house and then try to sell them books. You're an asshole. Okay, I'm just going to say that because just that morally is just messed up. And people who are just sitting on their photos just out of pure laziness, I mean, just don't do that because you're doing some wrong stuff for the industry. I mean, I shot 7,000 photos and they got 2,000 photos.
You shot 7,000?
Yeah, with manual glass. I'm shooting and I'm keeping more. Yeah. Dude, it's awesome. I love it.
Especially pre-stuff.
I love it. Well, and I have a lot of dancing photos from that because that wedding was crazy at night and it was cool because there was just so many good photos that I wanted to give them for those that were just fun because I knew. So here's another thing too, and I'm just gonna go. Weddings are the only time when people get together, like people who don't normally see each other get together, and I think a lot of wedding photographers forget that. Like these people sometimes don't see each other for like 20 years. So take a picture during the reception time. If people are talking in a group, stop them. Take a picture of them. Get them together. I think it's highly important. Same with funerals. Those times are the only times when people
you shoot funerals.
No.
Okay.
But I know people who shoot weddings and funerals. Solely. So, but yeah, with the sitting on photos, don't do that. Don't. Why? It's just lazy. There's a program called Photo Mechanics, and then you use that with Lightroom, and you can get stuff done quick.
Yeah, I had to go through my photos, I think, twice to get down to what I needed.
Did you use Photo Mechanics or did you use Lightroom?
Yeah. I use Photo Mechanics.
You use Photo Mechanics, okay.
Gotta use Photo Mechanics. Yeah. Frick me, dude.
So fast.
Lightroom?
Yeah, I know. The star thing, like, oh, I think I kind of like this photo. Like, really, you either like it or you don't. It's not one of those photos like, I kind of like this photo. I'm going to give it 3 stars. Like, what's the point?
No, dude, Photo Mechanics, I go through the first time, I get rid of all my mistakes, and then I go through one more time, and I basically choose my keepers.
Yeah. It's called calling through. So, or it's calling in, not calling out. So you call in the good photos. So you pick all your good photos instead of picking your bad photos that you want. You pick the good photos that you want, and then you export those.
Actually, because I don't like them on the card any longer than they have to be, I import them to Lightroom and then take that folder, put it in, and do it that way, and then I just delete them, then I resync the folder in Lightroom. But yeah, so that's in general what I've been up to. I got paid for the wedding I'm going to be doing in a few weeks, so I'm going to be getting ready to do some volume marketing. I'm going to hire another salesperson because I hired a salesperson to make some phone calls for me a few months ago, and we got one sale out of that, which will work out well because I paid him like $160, and I'll probably make around $1,500 off this sale. I'm going to do a martial arts school up in Bellevue, and I'm going to be doing shots up there, and I'm doing 5-minute portraits. So 5-minute sessions, and I want to get about 20 poses.
Oh yeah, person. And then what you're also using...
and I'm gonna use my kit lens.
So what's your computer setup for that? What do you?
My computer setup, my workflow setup is I shoot the photos onto my cards, and I'm not doing wireless because it's too slow. After I shoot an individual person, I pop out a card and hand it to my brother, and then so I have 3 cards going to merry-go-round basically. And then he puts them onto his computer using Photo Mechanics or whatever one we're using because we're shooting JPEGs only because we have one lighting setup, one white balance, one everything. We get it 99% of the way in there right out of the camera. So we shoot them to my brother who gets them off the card. Then he goes through and chooses the winners and losers, which ones work and which ones don't work. Mm-hmm. And then he, right now, because we don't have it that fancy, because we have conflicting OSs, operating systems, he's pretty much I'm going to have USB cables. I'm going to have 3 of them. I'm going to have one laptop that's going to be a sales computer. So a selling computer is where a person sits at it and is able to order photos. So they see the photos number, and they have a form, and they write down, I like photo 76, I like photo 347, whatever they want. They write that down in there, and then I know when I get those back exactly what I need to give them and what size and what photo basically. So they it goes then from that to one of my 3 selling computers, and so I'm going to have a laptop as a selling computer, probably one laptop as a selling computer, one's going to be a Chromebox, another one's going to be Intel stick, which I'm getting today.
And you've tested all this stuff.
The Intel stick comes today, and I'm going to test that, and then I'm basically, because we're using different OSs, which eventually I'll get them all on one, they're not going to be LANed. So I'm going to have 3 USB extender cables going from the selling computers to my brother, who will then basically USB stick them over. Then the photos will be pulled onto the computers, opened up for the people to see.
The most convoluted system in the world.
Pretty much. But if it works, we'll actually get enough money to buy more Intel sticks and put them on more monitors, and they'll be able to be all potentially even wireless. Potentially on that side. For me, wireless is too slow because I have so many photos coming off my camera. But the 30 they're going to see, and hopefully the 20 they're going to buy, that might be able to be wireless to them. But so that's my whole workflow, and I like it. It's quite a machine. But when it gets rolling, and typically I've only done 1 sales computer. That's it. And now I'm doing 3. I'm going to try 3 because I'm going from 10-minute photo sessions to 5-minute photo sessions. So,
have fun.
No, dude. When I typically shoot at a 10-minute photo session, my average is about $300 per shoot hour, which is pretty untouched per hour of shooting, especially because my post is like 5 hours for all the photos. So I'll shoot for like 5 hours and then make like $1,500, and then the business makes $1,500, and then I spend 5 hours because they're all so close. I'm just doing minor adjustments. Send them off to Costco. My expenses are less than 10% of my costs.
You're using Costco? You're not using a professional lab?
They just turn off the autocorrect and it looks the same as my computer.
You know what? And they use the same paper as a lot of labs. I don't care. There's going to be arguments about this. But they use the same archival Fuji paper that most labs use, and they use the same printers too. So,
and actually upgrading their system, the one in Tacoma. The one in Tacoma's getting a new system. But anyways, that is what's been going on with me. I think we will stop this one up now. And
but I had one other thing to say is, like, I've been trying to do these wedding videos for everyone, like me, and I've been promising, like, I'll do that, and the thing is I did 2 weddings, but halfway through I forgot to record because my camera went rogue on me, and then another time I was just thinking too fast and I just didn't have the time. So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna make one. I'll just put it up when it goes up. So I don't know when. There's a couple weddings coming up in September that might be a time that I might have Tim follow me. But I'm not gonna say when I'm gonna do another one of those. If it happens, it happens. That's the way it's
I'm not going to record me doing weddings because I'm not very good. So
you did pretty good on that wedding. I was pretty impressed. I was like, wow, it looks like everything I've ever done. No.
Yeah. So and I don't know if we said on the recording, but I copied a lot of what Jason did because one, it makes sure that it gets it done too, and also people like that stuff.
Yeah, they seem to. I mean. Yeah.
To my face, people like this photo.
Here's some people I would check out too if you're a wedding photographer and you want a two-man photography, TWO, and then man, MANN, two-man. They're really awesome photographers. They have some stuff on YouTube too talking about. They shoot with a 35 and 85, and that's kind of what I've been doing. And they shoot with a 70-200 during the ceremony. So it's kind of the same thing. And then Ryan Bresner, he's been heard around. Those two people are to me the pinnacle of like good wedding photography. Like,
and in volume photography, who to follow is nobody. There's Mike Brown who does a good job, but it's hard to get at least. Okay, so he has a Living Social. He has a Creative Life class on volume photography that I've been tempted to buy. No, it's only $70, but the reviews aren't any good.
Yeah.
The reviews are like, not that good. So, I haven't done it. In the volume world, it's going to be interesting. This year, I'm going to really try to push at it. I'm going to have my salesman call up 300 schools to try and get me appointments. He's
like, oh, I hate this guy.
So, he's going to be calling up a lot of different schools in the area to try and get me in the door and, see how some work happens. And I'm not doing the calls myself because I procrastinate the heck out of it. And it's just way better just for me to call someone else. Okay, so the last guy called up 160 martial arts schools. He only got one, and I think that's because I called at the wrong time of the year.
And who's this calling system through?
Well, I did it on Elance. On Elance is where I picked up the person, then he called. And he only got one. I'm pretty sure that's because of the wrong time of the year, so we're going to try again. But still, he cost me like $160, called up 160 schools. Like, I've called up like 10 schools, and it was like 2 weeks of me psyching myself up or out or in or down, whatever the frick, to actually get there and be terrified to do it. And I had him do it, and he was giving me reports every day about, oh, this person said this, and this person said this, and I called these 12 schools today.
And what does it cost to have someone do that for you?
Well, he was pretty inexpensive. His price went up a little bit, so he was $12 an hour. And the great thing about Elance, or about any of the, I think it's Upwork now, whatever, any of the online freelancing sites, is that I had him call for 1 hour a day. That's kind of the hard part I had if I was going to hire a part-timer. Yes, you are part-time for me. This job is for 2 weeks, 1 hour a day. You on board? Like, no one's going to be like, yeah, I'm gonna mess up my schedule so that I could take on this little crappy job. But I basically put out, and actually I had 10 people apply for it, and then I chose him. Now that same guy's like $16, but still around the $15
still
range.
Worth it.
Oh yeah, around the $15 range, and then just called him up. We Skyped for like half an hour. I gave him what I had of a script. He sent me back his modifications, what he would do, and I said, hey, call from 5 to 6 p.m. my time. And then he did. He was in Colombia. And then I was like, hey, 5 to 6 isn't working after a few days. I'm like, let's try 6 to 7. So he called between the hours of 6 and 7. Like, just something has to be done at a specific time, whatever. Just send that out there. And only 1 hour a day. I mean, I did 10 hours over my 2 weeks. So I paid him for 10 hours, and I got another school out of it that hopefully I will shoot every year and make anywhere from 1 to 2K per shoot.
So 120?
120 bucks.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
To make $1,500, not bad.
No.
Yeah.
Something like that. But anyway, so that's something I'm going to be doing coming up here. But yeah.
All right. So, guys. So this is, sorry we haven't been... Tim's been posting a lot of videos. I haven't, just been busy with wedding season and stuff. And, if anything new happens,
And that's why we're doing this, a posting marathon. The next 4 videos will all be wearing the same shirts. We might even switch shirts. No, it's not that crazy.
All right. Well, hey, I'll see you guys later, and you guys have a good one.